Hello YouTube and welcome back to Overcourt Gaming on South Mountain Creamery Farm. It's just 20 past 7 in the morning. We finished the main duties around the cows. They've had a bit of a top up on hay and a bit of a clean out. The manure is all sorted. So there's a couple of things we need to get sorted today. Obviously we had this rather mysterious phone call from Abel Nelson, who we bought a field of earlier, talking about business opportunity, which of course sounds very interesting. But I don't want to go knocking on his door at like 20 past 7 in the morning. So still a bit misty out, but we're gonna get the last field ploughed today. And that's obviously going to take a little while. But before we do that, we actually need the fend here fueled up because we're starting to run a bit low. We really don't want to get stuck out in the field, so I'm just going to pop over to our fuel tank first, get it filled up, and then we'll head over to that last field, get that sorted out. And I reckon sometime around midday we can go and see Mr. Nelson and find out what this is all about, what kind of business opportunity he's talking about. Obviously it might be a good opportunity, but it's a man of few words in many ways. He certainly didn't go into great detail last night, but he seemed really pleased with how we'd been working hay on his old field and got a good yield from it. So it'll be worth listening to what he's got to say. I've already picked up the eggs this morning. Greenhouses doesn't really need any additional water, but I was thinking that we could actually try and bring over the first small load of manure and get that loaded up and start using some of that for the greenhouses. And basically what I'll do is I'll head out to the field and get this ploughing going first, and then we might look at getting the manure sorted out a little bit later in the day. But yeah, we kind of got 3 quite oddly shaped fields. So here's the first one. I've actually just noticed that although I said I finished the headlands last night, I actually missed a bit down here. It was getting pretty dark by the time we finished, so it's not entirely surprising, but I think might as well get this last bit done right here. Really just one pass in either direction. So yeah, this is the first field. This is the one that's closest to the farm. Then right across this little green patch here for drainage, we got the second field, and that's the one we cultivated. Now all of the fields had their stubble left on them, and I reckon we probably should have ploughed them, but I'm gonna run a little experiment this first year and see if we can get away with the cultivating. Alternatively, then we only got one field to plough next year when it really when it's that time of year again. But for now we'll plough 2 of the fields, and we'll keep the middle one cultivated, and then we can look at some yield figures perhaps. But yeah, just gotta head over here. Can't really see an awful lot, but I think we're okay here. So yeah, that's the first field, like I said, the middle field here. And then, that's one of the vans. Dairy's back up and running. The cows aren't yielding a whole lot right now, but to be honest, you know, they've been with us for, well, just about a week, so it's not terribly surprising that it's taken a little time to settle in and get their productivity up and running. But yeah, we got a field to do here. So I'm actually going to get one of the farmhands to get this ploughing underway. We may come back and finish some of it off, but it'll be good just to get an opportunity to evaluate how their work is as well. And while they get started on that, I'm just gonna hop back to the farm, switch the camera off while I walk. Although I will have a little bit of a look at the field here and the soil quality and everything like that. Whew, that's actually quite a long walk when it comes down to it, but that's not too bad. It's still a bit chilly in the air, obviously. But yeah, what we'll do is we'll start getting some of that manure loaded up into the little trailer that we bought, and once we've done that, we'll take it over to the greenhouses and start unloading a bit and start using it as compost over there. So I'll just hook it onto the smaller fent here, and then we'll use the JCB to actually load the manure on when it comes to that. The manure pile's just around the back of here. As you can see, there's not exactly a huge amount here. So right now it's really just like one or two greenhouses that we're going to try and start supplying. I'm actually just going to hop the fence and walk in through here instead, come in through the stable. It's a bit of a shortcut over to the JCB. See, there'll be a couple of scoops here at least. So this is really what we had in mind for this little trailer here. It's not really going to be used for anything else. I'm not planning to cart grain in it. We've got a bigger trailer for that, and I'm hoping at some point if we start doing corn, more high volume yield, that we'll be able to get one to put behind our truck as well. But yeah, that's all a matter of how well we're balancing out financially. Obviously, with having taken up that $350,000 loan, we're paying a fairly hefty amount in interest and repayment now. And one of the priorities, once we have got the machinery that we need, then the priority will be to try and get that loan paid back down again. Of course, I would like to expand as rapidly as possible, but we're not going to do it to our own financial peril either, where we end up with such a big loan that we can't afford to do anything. I think that's all I'm going to get out of the pit right now. So that's about 5,000 litres, 5 tons of manure, which is a decent enough amount. So the plan is basically that we're gonna create a second pile over on the corner of the greenhouses, and then we'll be able to take the JCB over now and then, and basically just fill up the greenhouses. Okay, I'll just take back over again here, send him up to start readying a couple of the greenhouses, and then this corner here, there isn't room for another greenhouse, so we're really just gonna tip the manure in a pile here, and then as more comes in, we'll we'll get it distributed among the greenhouses. But like I said, today we're really just gonna try a couple to begin with, because there isn't an awful lot there, and if we try to distribute it between all the greenhouses, it would be an absolutely tiny amount. So yeah, just grab the first ones nearby here really, and pop it into those. So yeah, just gonna leave the fence there for now. I'll come and pick that up later. Take the JCB back over in the shed, and then we will head down and see how it's going with the field getting plowed. It's still very, very cold this spring, which is also why I haven't been panicking about getting the seeder, because I don't think we're gonna see any grain sprouting until the soil temperature comes up a bit. That's where buying some analysis tools to have a look at the soil condition might actually be a good idea. Just trying to find out where she's working in the field right now. Oh, looks like this is where it started. Yeah, it's fine. You know, the headlands will have to be finished, but that's okay. That's what we always do. And come down towards the end of the field here. I think we can see her coming down just now. It looks like everything's actually going pretty well. Just gonna pop out and have a quick look at the soil here. Looks good. Looks rich, fertile, well turned. Yeah. I'm quite happy with that. Just radio over and let her know that we're happy for her to continue for now. And we'll just get out of the way basically. Oh, looks like there's a bit of a traffic jam going on here. Let's try and flash my lights at them. Come on, get shifting. It's just a bit of snow. Right, here we go. Actually, I'm going to use the laptop over here in the shed because I need to get the guys to take a look at the truck as well. Oh, seems like it's having a bit of trouble getting started now actually. That's fair enough. It's been standing out. It's been cold for a while, so it's not terribly surprising, but we better get it down to the shed. Here we go, fits in fine. We'll leave that in here for them to work on, and yeah, I'm just going to be over here in the corner while they work. Have a look at the laptop, see what's going in terms of seeders here. So this Amazon ED3000C was actually the one we took delivery of yesterday, I think it was. So that's sitting over in the shed. That's the one we're going to use for putting corn in the ground. So I'm thinking about whether we should invest a bit and go for a 6 meter. See that's 52,000. And I think if we need to move up to the horse machine, then we're up in a 9 meter span. We're talking about almost $100,000, and that's simply too much right now. So I think I'm going to stick to my guns, and I'm going to put in the order for the Vader strat, and I'll see what the guys up at the shop says about that. We'll get the money ready to transfer, and the guys have actually just emailed back and said that it's going to be about a week's delivery. So that means towards the end of early spring, beginning of mid-spring, we should have this thing. So we'll transfer the money now. To be honest, I'm just going to head back to the house now for a bit, grab myself a coffee. We got the work out doing the ploughing. I'm quite happy with that right now, although I'll be happy to do it myself as well. But right now it's good to give the staff some opportunities to get familiar with the equipment as well. So yeah, I'm going to pop in for a cup of coffee, and then once it's time to go and meet Abel, I'm going to pop over there and see what this business proposition is all about. Okie dokie, it's almost 11 o'clock now, so I reckon now's probably a good time to go and see Abel Nielsen, find out what this is all about. You mentioned sheep. I'm not quite sure what that could point to, because I don't have any sheep, and I'm not aware of him having any sheep either. Anyway, his house is actually just up here. We'll try here. Now, from what I gather, and the way that he was talking yesterday, I kind of get the impression that maybe he's a little bit shy or private. So I'm just going to turn the camera off while I go and talk to him. I'll let you guys know what this was all about afterwards. Okay, so I've been in to see Abel Nielsen, and he's definitely got a business proposal for us. So if you've seen some of the previous episodes, you'll know that one of the fields down along the road here, we actually bought it in order to be able to make enough hay to feed the cows that we were getting in, knowing that when we took over the farm there weren't really going to be much grass that was going to be worth cutting. So he's taken notice of the fact that we got a good amount of hay out there. We managed to do the 2 cuts on the field, and he reckons that we got plenty of hay. In fact, he reckons we got so much hay that there will be enough to feed a bunch of sheep as well. He also knows that we're just starting out and that money can be a bit tight. So his proposal has been that he is willing to invest in sheep if we are willing to put them up on our pasture and to feed them and to water them. So technically speaking, it will be his sheep, but we would be tending to them and feeding them with what we produce out of our own fields. In return, we'd be splitting the sales of any wool or additional sheep that we breed 50-50. So to be honest, that actually sounds like a pretty good deal to me. We got this pasture here, and I actually think that's a reasonable thing. We could have a bunch of sheep going here. I'm fairly confident that we got enough hay to feed some sheep. Obviously, we could end up having to buy in some hay if not. But now that we got our big grass field, field number 42, and that is a huge grass field. We cut it once for silage and got about 300,000 litres out of it. So to be honest, I think we could do this. Really think. We already got our water pump and everything right over by the greenhouses there, so you know it's not a huge job to drive over here with some water for a bunch of sheep. So I think we should do it. So I've actually already said yes. So the sheep are going to be delivered shortly. So we're going to have more livestock on the farm shortly. So I think that's more or less really what I was going to sort out today. I'm gonna leave the work to finish up the field out there. Might just have to head out towards the end just to make sure they get the headlands sorted and everything like that. Just gonna tidy up the yard a bit here in the meantime. So yeah, that's more or less it for today. But next episode we should be seeing some sheep arriving as well. So we've got some more work to do there. But for now, thank you very much for Mobile Court Gaming. Do hit that like and subscribe button if you'd like to follow the series. And thank you very much for stopping by, and see you again soon.